With Kamen Rider 1971 being the first entry in one of the most iconic tokusatsu series, naturally it was going to influence a lot of future Henshin heroes going forward in terms of themes, archetypes, and visual design ideas. Episode 8 of 1971 introduced one of the few female villains of the show, the creepy Wasp Woman, and over 40 years later, an artist on the internet known as Sometime decided to twist this concept into a girls' love manga called Superwoman in Love, Honey Trap and Rabbit Rabbit. This series was published online for a few chapters before getting picked up for a 25-chapter serialization in a real manga magazine, even later getting an official English translation and release by 7 Seas Entertainment. This series has the charming youthful hero Rabbit Rabbit almost being defeated by a mature villainess, Honey Trap, but ultimately surviving because Honey Trap immediately falls in love with her at first sight, with the two quickly forming an alliance to save the day from various evil. Henshin hero shows like Kamen Rider are no stranger to having characters doing heel turns like this, with almost every Rider series these days expected to have a bastard rival or villainous character join our hero squad by a certain point in the series, so the concept isn't as subversive as one might think. However, I found the series to be less about the redemption of evil, and more about the simple but powerful force of love. While Kamen Rider and Super Sentai often preach love, peace, and unity, the show can rarely show the love part in a mature way since it's aimed at the broad masculine stereotype of young boys. But with this being aimed at an older demographic with a female-starred cast, Superwoman in Love actually explores the power of love triumphing over it all in a more heartfelt and compelling way than those shows can. It's still ultimately cheesy in its messaging, but that's not a bad thing with its tokusatsu-style sincerity, and it still has a bit more to say about love than you would think at first glance. The genre blend of Yuri and Henshin hero complement each other in both the silly cute hijinks and serious drama, rather than one part detracting from the other, which can prove a great gateway for Yuri fans to get into Toku, or vice versa. On the visual presentation, sometimes artwork for the series balances cutesy fluffy Yuri with badass mechanical Henshin hero designs that are still distinct from the series compared to other Henshin heroes, but could still fit in a lineup of other Kamen Riders if these designs were made into real suits. The character writing is also charming as heck, with the woman behind Rapid Rabbit, Hayata Honjo, being an adorable take on the nice guy everyman Yusuke Godai archetype Kamen Rider Kuga popularized, with her backstory chapter being a dark yet well done dramatic high point for the series. Her former villainous turned partner Honey Trap has a really charming progression where her love for Hayate is initially portrayed as a goofy thirst gag, but slowly realizes it's earnest love she feels towards Hayate, not just one-sided lust. The other villains that show up have their moments and quirks, but the main villain X is a big standout for me with how she must navigate and cope through the complicated emotions of Honey Trap not liking her in a romantic way. The payoff to that arc is really poignant and a great thematic culmination of what the series had been. From conception, this manga was always going to be a slam dunk for me since I like Henshin heroes and I like cute romance, but I appreciate the series taking in consideration the strengths and similarities of both genres to create something fresh and fun to read for both people familiar or unfamiliar. I will say I didn't love everything about this series though. The extra hero duo they introduced at the core arc of Volume 2 have some weird incestuous lolly overtones to them, and that's just not a thing I like to see. Volume 2 in general is the series' lowest point before hitting you with a banger streak of chapters till the end section that really turn it back around. If you can handle that bump in the road, this is a high recommendation from me.